Okay, guys, so there seems to be more and more evidence that the airplanes, aircraft are able to manipulate the weather, and they're up to something really shady. And I just wanted to share a few things just today. In fact, one reason why it's even more overcast, and I'll shove in some of the example, is one little private plane was flying over and around and around and around the skies today, and all of a sudden it just got really dark and gloomy. We're looking right in this area and it's not there. Nowhere to be seen, but you can hear them. November 29th, 11:33. See that? Hours and hours at a time, but they're not on the flight radar. So it must be government hired. It's just so bright out here, it's hard to see. Okay, I just want to show how it's just starting to sprinkle now on the same day that I just showed. Wow, I just showed that little airplane flying overhead and making it super cloudy. Just showing you. Now here I'm just going to show you just some really quick examples of what I'm talking about. What I have noticed is there is a pattern, and what I've seen is this is Alaska Airlines, for example. They do this quite often. They will go back to back, following each other, and there's always a spray, and then the weather changes. So and here's the high altitude atmospheric injection system and method. And this is for, not specifically, this says, and I've read this before, but this down here says, not limited to weather modification. And again, it says in one or more various aspects, related systems include, but are not limited to circuitry and or programming for affecting the herein referenced method aspects. So basically, you're allowed to run or dump a payload, which includes expelling at least a first material from the payload into the atmosphere at high altitude. And this here later, skipping down, it says a combination of hardware, software, and or firmware configured to affect the herein referenced method aspects depending upon the design choices of the system designer. So you can either use conduit, you can use whatever material you choose for whatever end purpose according to the system designer. And here it mentions expel the first material into the atmosphere. And I can see like system designer can have a few anagrams, a lot of anagrams, but dig enemy stress or reset dying mess. IT's messy gender, because everything they're putting in the air is messing up with people's hormones and stuff. Anyhow, reset my designs, all kinds of stuff. And also system designer is sort of like the architect. So IT catcher, C theatric, and C is controller. So controller theatric. Here's architect, also IT car tech. And remember when Elon Musk went to the White House to meet with John Podesta to electrify the United States, supposedly regarding the electric vehicles, but who knows what they're really doing. Oh yeah, and system designer, there's the messy red ingest and stymies genders. So in this patent, it also says basically it's just illustrative and is not intended to be in any way limiting. So sky's the limit, but I'll leave this link again. So it also talks about wired communication link, a wireless communication link, fiber optic cable, wave guide. Anyhow, communication medium, but either way, it's about a system for providing material to the atmosphere. And in that they mean that into the atmosphere at high altitude, so whatever that means. Some further in this it says 35,000 feet, which I've gone over this before. And they talk about anywhere from chimneys, so only like this height of a chimney, not limited to antennas, may be capable of being applied in a variety of environments. So basically any way they want to electrify you or poison you, it looks like it's pretty much open season. So I'll just continue on, but there's your gases. Gotta have the gases. Here's just one quick example. Here's Alaska Airlines. This was on the 28th of November. Here's one of the planes, One World. If that doesn't give you a little bit of a hint, but this is Alaska Airlines, One World here. And here's Alaska again, and I'll go by their call number up there, ASA 1317. That's this one. And this is the Alaska Airlines 1435, and you'll see how they were both flying together. This is the 1435's registration. So the 1435 flight was going from San Jose del Cabo to San Jose, California. Here's their flight times and schedule. Here's one I actually caught them on the map. And this is the Alaska Airlines leaving from Los Angeles to Seattle. I've noticed that the Del Cabo and the Seattle and the San Francisco also and Los Angeles flights are all the ones that spray. Here they are again, same flight. But one of my questions is where is the record and the time of the 1317 plane? So here's Alaska's 1435, the one on the bottom. Okay, so sorry, it was the 27th. So from San Jose del Cabo to San Jose, California, there's a 1435 from 9 a.m. and then it landed at 10:52. So there they are, 1435. That's the bottom one, 1435. Here's their schedule. But nowhere on this schedule do you see that flight number, the 1317. And here's the 27th. You do not see the 1317 anywhere. So I wonder why they cut that flight out. But here's Southwest as well. See, you always have back-to-back planes. This one was going from San Diego to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here's Southwest again, SWA 2040. And here they are following right behind the Southwest Airlines 2880. Even the Air Force does it. Here's the ATA C-22, and it was flying with the C-21. See how they're right on top of each other? There's the C-21's track, and here is the C-22's track. They're flying on top of each other, doing the exact same thing. But that's that plane. Here's Alaska Airlines again at the 1444. And here's the Alaska Airlines 1410. And again, they're right on top of each other. Well, not on top of each other, but following very close behind. And what I've noticed is they will leave a big long trail, those chemtrail things, the stratospheric aerosol injections, in the sky, and then another one will come shortly right behind it. There's their flight I captured. Look at some of the common numerology between Alaska Airlines, Walt Disney, and chloroform. 377 for both chloroform and Alaska Airlines, and then 132 or 123 for Alaska Airlines and Disney. but they pretty much have very close in numerology. And it's not just in the United States, it's also Mexico. So here's one of their Viva Aerobus flights. Here's the Vive, they call it 3106, Vive 5065, and Vive 1254. And when you look at them, when I look up in the sky and then follow their tracks, these are who is leaving them, and they're all, you see all three tracks together. Here's another instance, and the reason why I look up and track them is because of the spraying in the sky that I see. So here is the 1436 Alaska Airlines leaving the track, and then this one, Alaska Airlines 1348, followed soon after. But here's the 1436 and the 1348 plane. See that 1348 and the 1436? And the 1436 plane is going down to San Jose del Cabo from San Jose. That's this flight right here. So where is the 1348 flight? It doesn't show it. Now I called them out on the 21st of November, and it's interesting because the San Diego flight all of a sudden was canceled. I just think that's sort of strange. Now here's the Southwest Airlines, the 1900, and they're flying alongside the 2775. That's them again, Southwest Airlines. Here's their timing, 11:25, so they left at 11:31, and they left at 11:38. One left from San Antonio, and the other one left from Austin, Texas. But here they both are. And then later they catch up to each other. So I just find it sort of strange how they're always matching. They're always mirroring each other. Here's a weird little thing I found in Florida, right next to St. Petersburg, the home of the Shriners. Stock, STLK1. Look at that, how it's like a little jacks kind of weird thing. This is right over MacDill Air Force Base Auxiliary. They actually had like 4 of these, and then when I clicked on them again, they all disappeared. So whatever that is going on. So this was Monday, November 27th that this happened. And here it said unknown in various aircraft type, and it wouldn't even, the registration, all zeros. And this was the altitude and the miles per hour. So the miles per hour is in the yellow, and the altitude is at 3,000 feet for the most part. Well, actually, look at, so that's kind of strange. So even the Qatar Airways does the same thing. Here they are, I found them. They fly very close together. Same with Aeroflot in Moscow. Here they are with both of their planes. And they usually are within 2,000 feet in altitude of each other. So here's a Boeing 777, Aeroflot again. See how they're so close to each other? I wonder why that is. Here's an airline called Red Wings. Again, flying so close to each other. Here's United States Air Force, just the other day, Goat 38. It's goat and fang. They had 2 goats and 2 fangs. So there's your prey. There's your goat. They also had a fang. And this was San Antonio, Texas. They had fangs 13, goat 38, crazy 32, and there's your goat 38 again. They had 2 goats. So why do they name themselves that? And here's your goat 16. That's your 19 upside down. Our U.S. Air Force. So Beech T-68 in Texan, I guess. I don't know. They're flying relatively low, 12,000 feet. Here's an Uzbekistan Airways, Moscow. There's another one. So what are they doing? Just releasing? One plane has, like, the first plane has one kind of toxin and the second one has another, which is a catalyst, or what? I mean, what are they doing? Here's another airlines, S7, this big old yellow-green thing, going from St. Petersburg to Moscow. There they are again. Here you've got a Mexican airline, Viva Aerobus again, and look at, how do you like the little one eye patch there in the background on the tail. And there's all three of them, and I can tell you, if you saw them all that day at the same time, same place, you'd see the trails. So that's why in the skies you'll see these two flying together as they catch up to each other. Alaska does this all the time, and then they take off the fact that one of those planes even flew, even though the flight tracker shows it. See, watch this. You won't see record of the number 1317. Here's the 1435, and this was on the 26th of November. So 1317 is nowhere to be seen. But yet there they are. So you can ask the airport sponsors, what are they really doing, and how are they really managing the actual individual aircraft companies that are coming out of their airports. So there's airport sponsors. Here's a few anagrams I came up with. Airports, SOS porn, and SARS poison port, or arsonist prop. So here is Mickey's Toontown Express. Here's a couple anagrams I came up with. Excite New World Order Monsters Sky Op, or New World Order Execs IT Monsters Pokey, as in the needIecraft. Or a couple more. The Mickey's New World Order Reset Snot Pox, as they spray all kinds of stuff, and then you've got the Masonic stuff going on in there with the X, the Sky Reset Op. Gematria for Toontown 1330 is also secret military programs, is 1330. Do you see how they work together?